Welcome one and
I have
all
not
to
been
another
able to
shut
keep-
up crossover catch up.
Fuck, no, fuck you.
Pause.
Alright, yeah, no. You know what? This is your channel, but this is my episode, just like how it's been my episode. These,
Alright.
Hey, so let's talk about
couple
Joker
episodes. All
versus
these
Giorno.
episodes.
It's the death battle that just came out. It has Joker from Persona 5 and Giorno from JoJo's Last Adventure because he fucking died.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
there's
I
the
guess we're ju-
storyboard.
You could technically,
Alright, we're
well,
gonna jump.
everyone's told
I guess
me
we're
that
jumping right
that
into
Giorno
this,
would
like-
just die from his shadow being vaporized into nothing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, no, he would, but like, I
The
will
best you
take
could
the
say, this is
storyboard as
JoJo's
canon.
second last adventure, because there's one more part afterwards, and if Jolene gets an episode, it doesn't matter if she wins or not, because she's gonna die anyway.
Yeah. Oh, why'd I say that?
What?
Anyway.
And we know she's gonna die,
Anyways,
whether you've seen this series or not, because Dio card spoils it. For no reason, as we've established before recording.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Joker.
there's a half chance that review for Joker versus Giorno has gone up by this point. So if it has and things sound a bit off, that is because he recorded that review before talking to me.
Well, no,
And
I wrote
he-
it, and then I went back and edited parts of the script after you talked to me, and then I recorded it. Well, no, parts of it I had recorded beforehand. I went back and re-recorded some parts, but, yeah, the script was different. Because I wrote pretty much right after I watched it. I did the reaction, I finished up, and then I spent the rest of the day just, like, writing the review, up to, like, 3 a.m. in the morning. And then I go to bed, and I wake up the next morning, and Gumball waltzes into my DMs, like, hey, so I got some thoughts, you know? And I'm like, okay, what are your thoughts? And he's like, so there's all this stuff about Giorno in it that's just, like, weird? I go, well, okay, that's interesting. I'm interested in hearing your opinion, because unlike some people, I do not feel like attacking you for having an opinion over something you know about. And then he says all this shit. I'm like, excuse me? So I'm just wrong. Like, my impression's just, objectively, everything is wrong. The only thing that I got from this episode that was right is that Requiem barely shows up. And that's it. That's the only thing I got that's actually correct. Is he fights Diaboramon and Requiem's barely in the manga. Is that what you're telling me? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, okay. That's nice.
For the record,
Thank you.
For the record, we all do like the episode.
I do like the
But it's
episode.
just a
yes.
really.
We spent about an hour before recording this talking about mostly it, and hearing Hyper slowly have a mental breakdown as he listens to what my impression of Giorno was from the episode, it's quite amusing. I wish I recorded that. Just him constantly going, no, Nem, that's just not it. I'm like, I know that's not it. He told me already.
So you
Oh
guys are welcome. Nemesis was about to drop the most
If you said that, I would have just
Painful.
clicked off. I would have clicked off.
There
I
is-
actually would have just clicked off if you said all that.
There
I
is-
would've-
Well,
I
no.
would've-
In my original script, which is not around anymore because I've saved over it, I don't say this is what he is. I say this is the impression I got, which is how I want to tackle, like, in the future, anytime they do an episode with a character I'm not familiar with, which is not the
Probably
previous
because of
episode, and it's not
situations
the
like
next
this.
episode, just this one. I won't go, this is what the character is. I'm pretty sure I don't do that in general, but I want to be like, the impression I got of the character was this, and then let people tell me in, like, afterwards whether it was right or not. Because worst case scenario, they get really mad and boost my algorithm by shouting at me, and best case scenario, they're really polite and inform me on where I was wrong about the character and how Death Battle could have conveyed them better while also boosting the algorithm. So it's like a win-win for me. So sometimes Gumball will just show up and go, anyway, let me break it down for you, son. Let me tell you something, bro.
I did this for Deku versus Asta, and I did it for this.
It was so. It
The
was
damage
so...
was done for Deku Asta. You lagged. You buffered for Deku Asta, and that was the problem. You know, your ping was just too high.
It was so No, it's so funny to me. I was watching your review, and then you were just like, "From what I heard, Asta's accurate." And I was like, "Oh God, I gotta."
No, like for like that one, I was like, But then if you said the things he said for Giorno here, I would have been like, no.
They're still technically in the review. I talk about how, like, there is a moment where I paused because I was reading the script, and it was one of the parts I hadn't recorded yet. I was reading the script, and I was about to talk about how, like, it goes to show the difference between, like, Joker as, like, a friend person and Giorno as a lone wolf, as I interpreted it. And then in the recording, while I'm saying that, I go, wait a minute. I should have fixed this. That's not true. This is wrong. I've been informed now. I have been educationed. Gumball has come in and said, allow me to educate yourself.
Okay. A fun
I have
little
saved.
things.
I have saved your YouTube channel.
Okay. Fun little things like that aside, I think overall,
You
I
fucking
really
saved my
enjoyed
YouTube
it.
channel from both of the Giorno fans out there.
Dude, it's like that one fucking image of the George Bush guy whispering into his ear.
I can guarantee if he hadn't done that, Gumball would have, Hyper would have dumped into my DMs and gone, "Who told you this about Giorno?" I'm pretty sure Eve would show up, and Eve would say, "No, wait."
Eve would like actually execute you live.
What's funny is that while I was talking to Gumball, Eve was also talking to me and saying like the same shit, at the same time. And the only reason for that, was because she posted this very lovely piece of art. She did a lot of art for the episode, and she said, "This is my final one." And I didn't say it to her face, but in my head, I was thinking, "What a fucking liar! What a fucking liar! That's not your last one." And then like, after the episode's out, I checked Twitter, and she's like, "So here's my actual last one." I'm like, "I fucking called it. I knew that was gonna happen." And I DM'd her about it, and she was like, "Yep, for better or worse, you were correct." I'm like, "Oh no. Now what does that mean?" And then like, that's around the exact same time that Gumball's like, "So I have a few problems with this episode, you see." And I'm sitting there like, "Oh no. This day is not going how I thought it would. There are plot twists unraveling in front of me, and I'm not prepared. Uh-oh." It's like 5 picoseconds before disaster. Right there. As I type into both of them at the same time pretty much. Okay, what's wrong? And there it just happens. Just the floodgates open up. We was just talking about Noah's Ark. I should have fucking used one myself. Should have built myself a boat for the floodgates that I'd open up in my face.
Oh my God.
I say floodgates opening up as if I didn't literally post on Twitter the whole, like, the joke where Giorno's advantage just took the moral victory. And now that's got like 50,000 views on Twitter, mostly because people keep fucking arguing over whether he did take the moral victory. It's like, I appreciate it. And I like that there are a lot of very civil arguments in there. I appreciate that a lot, actually, genuinely. Very few people getting angry at each other for what was said, and very few people mocking each other. But also, not only is there a question mark at the end of that sentence to make it, you know, did he really? But also, wow, I was not expecting that.
What I was not expecting was that freaking Steven thing with Giorno, and then all those other people start replying to that one tweet, and it's just a whole trend.
I think that's great. You know, that's great. That's fantastic. We went from one death battle that nobody was thinking would be that controversial, maybe just a little, and then no one shuts the fuck up about getting mad at it and getting angry at it and accusing death battle and shit. And then you go to the next episode that everyone's sure is going to be controversial, and that's the one everyone's posting memes about, everyone's having their funny jokes, very civil discussions, having fun. It's like, wow. So that's what a year away does, huh?
Crazy. Yeah.
My particular favorite one is how a Steven Universe account started this fucking thread of all the Death Battle characters jumping each other that they lost. It is the funniest thread I have seen this fandom.
There's one I saw where someone didn't say who the like person in the image was, there's just a pile of ash, and it's like, yeah, there's a lot of characters that could be. You're damn right. Don't get me started.
Dude, I love all these replies. I think one of my favorite.
No, I love the one where I love the one with Deku with all the swords. He's back like, man, I thought I had it bad, and Ryuko walks in. Don't you dare say a fucking thing.
I like the one that's just no words. It's just Homelander in the background in that pose, but like the bottom of his head is just crushed. Like he's just like that one pose everyone uses of him standing there staring at the camera, but like trying to be intimidating while half his head is just mush.
fucking love the QRT that's just Deadpool and Piggy Pie hanging out with the fucking middle finger emoji.
Props to everyone for taking this episode really well, because most of the people who have problems with it are also being very civil about it, and I appreciate that. There are obviously the bad apples, but they seem to be not coming out as much during the time since the episode's come out and recording this. That's pretty cool. Now we can wait for Bowser Eggman, the one that nobody expects to be massively controversial and full of spite, to be the one that gets people attacking Death Battle again, and naturally sending death threats to the editors for their research, because y'all very smart and intelligent.
Okay,
you know what?
okay.
I really want to send in like a resume to Death Battle, be like, can I be a researcher? And they're gonna be like, why do you want to be a researcher for Death Battle? Oh, because I'm gonna be the last person to get accused of getting the episode wrong.
Well, you do realize how that sounds.
I am obviously joking.
I know that you're joking, but like the wording of it.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not the last
like,
person
if
to
you-
be accused of getting it wrong, but
I
I do
No,
make it sound like I'm going to intentionally get it wrong because I have immunity. I have diplomatic immunity from being attacked. I pull out the fucking Doctor Doom card. Get a load of this in my Eggman voice. It's the Eclipse, but instead of like
Chris
the
statue in Total Drama.
it's literally the Eclipse, except it's a Chris statue instead of like the big circle. It's just his head.
I love how you brought up the Eclipse while very recently doing an Eggman impression. It's good to know that side of us has never left.
Because I was meant to say get a load of this in Doctor Doom's voice, and instead I did an Eggman impression, and then my mind went to, anyway, so what if it was also the Eclipse?
So it's just flat out involuntary at that point. I think
Gut
that matchup
reaction.
just changed us.
Nah, Eggman Griffith is the funniest thing. It's even funnier because the actual matchup makes sense with the specific version of Eggman. But the fact that it makes sense makes it funnier to me. Like, it makes it so much funnier that we did not interpret it that way at all until, like, an hour after looking at the matchup.
No, I'm sorry. It's just like, you said gut reaction. I'm just thinking guts reaction.
Oh, fuck off. Just imagine fucking, like, Guts cutting his arm off, but instead it's just Excalibur Sonic.
Dude, no, I'm
Imagine
so
imagine
sorry.
instead
It's
of like blood gushing out, he's stabbing his arm, and it's just a bunch of rings keep flying out of him. But like they land right on top of him, so he just keeps picking them back up.
Alright, well, we'll go harder. Guts versus Dimitri, or Guts versus the hard-boiled heavies?
Well, obviously the hard-boiled heavies.
Okay, I kind of want to like actually talk about the episode a little bit because I actually have a lot to say.
I have stuff to say too, and then Nemesis is silent because
I've got to
he already had a lot.
Yeah,
He already had,
I will
and he
note
already had a lot
one of
to
the things
say.
Gumball will say is how Joker's analysis is so versus heavy. That's something I wrote in my script before he said anything. So that's not just a him thing. His problems, actually, in fact, his problems with certain parts of the analysis in general are not just him things. So don't go accusing him of being a hater or looking for problems, because I know people like to do that with Gimbal.
Yeah, no, I'm just nitpicking, you know?
Yeah, like me.
These are just nitpicks.
Me when I nitpick the entire choreography of the fight, and they're like, you're just nitpicking. It's like, huh? Well, okay.
no,
That's
no,
fair.
See, no. if you really want to insult Gumball's pride, you should call him a tomato head.
At this point, I've just kind of embraced it.
Tomato head.
Okay, what if I tell them
as
to
if his whole body
leak
isn't a
your
tomato.
IP address?
I will also remind everyone
Well,
that canonically my
well,
stand is
they-
Gumball Viking. So
All right. Anyway, if they leak my IP address, and that just means I have no reason not to work at Death Battle now because I already got doxxed. Might as well.
it's time for a dox battle.
You can't
Okay.
dox me twice.
Okay, I want to say my thoughts really quickly.
All right.
Anyways,
Yeah, you go first.
episode I liked the analysis well enough. Like, obviously the short length of it, I feel like there's like some room that could have been expanded on for both, mainly Giorno to me. Jokers I enjoyed well enough. There were a lot of nice and cute touches here and there, like especially for me as like a big Persona fan, who's by the way never played a Persona game. Haha, JK. No, I only played Strikers, but I watched a Let's Play of Persona 5, so that means I'm a true Persona fan. I enjoyed all the nods they gave. It was pretty solid overall to me. Giorno's, I felt like at least mentioning Bruno would have been better. Like, I'm fine. I can live with the other members not getting that drop, but I feel like Bruno should have been mentioned. And other parts could have been elaborated more. But I still liked it overall. I really like the music. That's what I really like. The music always like sets up this really really nice tone for the analysis to me, and it just gets like the mood right. Animation wise, I really enjoyed it. I like, obviously shorter side, but like I can forgive it there. I really enjoyed the different uses of personas actually utilizing gold experience, and it's not always just GR because like given the reputation of it. I liked, I really liked Joker's VA. Like it just like really solid overall. Great job there. And I really, well, it was kind of obvious to me that Joker was gonna win, but I really enjoyed that climax, like just GR and just the oomph and impact to it, and the final scene in the office was also really cool, and then Saturnal showing up for the awesome finish was really good, and Verdict was good too.
Oh yeah, I want to just interject. All the times I said Joker wins because he just shoots Giorno, yup, I was right.
Yeah. I'll beat you with the power of friendship, and also this gun I have.
I want to point out, they didn't
This-
bring up
this gun
Bruno,
that I ha-
but you know what they did bring up? His stand.
Yep. Sticky fingers, sticky.
I'm glad you didn't go up and tell me no, that's not actually a stand. That's someone else's stand. I'm glad I picked that up
No, that's
correctly.
All right. Okay, so are you ready for the fun technicalities?
Shut your stupid ass. But yes, I am.
So very briefly, it isn't because there's a whole body swap thing going on, and it's actually Diavolos.
Wait, is that the scene that happens in? Hold on.
I'm not sure if that's the scene that happens in. I just want to.
There's no way that's the reason he was fighting Bruno in that clip.
No,
way.
that's the subway. That's the subway. Stop. You stop me yammering.
I want to point out that they name drop fucking Made in Heaven, but not Bruno.
Okay, is it my turn for thoughts?
Sure.
Actually, hold on. Is the
Okay,
the
I'm
Made in
gonna
Heaven
do-
thing's just in the game, right?
Yes.
So when people talking about he lost just because of the game, not picking up the fact that the reason they made GER so ridiculously powerful to the point of being able to nullify most of Joker's arsenal is also because of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Y'all very intelligent.
Okay.
Wait. So people argue GR wins through the game, not realizing that the World Over Heaven thing was also in the game
Yeah.
for a
people-
long
pe-
time.
Like there are a lot of people saying that, incorrectly saying, some because they're stupid, some because they just don't know better, or just picked up the line wrong, that Joker only won because of the game. However, it's more directly said in the analysis that Requiem is so powerful because in the game it nullifies this stand, which doesn't just delete a bit of time, but fucks with the entire universe's time.
Technically speaking, they scaled Golden Express Requiem to multiversal stands. They didn't explicitly say it, but the implication was there.
Yeah.
So anyway,
They do say that King Crimson like
to
erases
be
the universe, but like that's no, it doesn't sound right to me. That sounds a bit dumb.
okay.
Even if
Anyway,
that's accurate, I think it's just dumb. So
I'm going
I
to be
disagree.
more. I'm going to be more critical. You know, like, hey guys, piss and shit and snot, and that's about it. See ya. But like, at absolute worst, I see this episode as an 8 out of 10. It just so happens that the flaws of this episode, I think, are the easiest to point out to me as someone who has wanted this matchup desperately ever since I watched part 5 of JoJo, back when it was airing on Toonami. So that couldn't have been any. That's like 2018 at best. So, Joker's analysis, very versus heavy, yes. Skips out on a lot of story beats, which isn't the worst thing ever, but also, as far as writing segue goes, as a writer, there is a really easy way to loop back into story beats that they just didn't do when they're talking about social links. Instead of, you know, probably talking about his relationship with Igor throughout the entire game before it's revealed to be not Igor, which is the Fool Arcana, by the way. That is the main relationship you could have highlighted from a story beat.
Who the hell is that?
Into Yaldabaoth. They just don't. There's no cohesion, and I find that really odd for a writer like Liam, who I know is really good at these kind of segues.
You've just lost me. You just instantly lost me. Who the hell is that?
Igor?
Yeah, who the fuck is that?
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
Igor is one of the main people in the Persona franchise. He is the one who starts.
I didn't know who Igor was either until I actually went into Persona. I had no idea he existed.
All right, Igor is the one who instructs wildcard users as to how personas work. He explains the entire purpose of personas. He is the main mentor throughout the entire franchise. So, yeah.
It's like the more you yap, the more I realize the episode really told me nothing.
Unless Hyper wants to make the argument that Igor isn't all that or the reveal that it wasn't Igor at all the entire time.
No, I'm saying it can tie to Joker. I'm just saying I don't think Igor's that like well known, like outside of like unless you're deep dive into Persona.
A deep dive, which is booting up a game for 5 minutes.
Why did I say deep dive? I meant like if you're into Persona,
a
like
dive,
basically.
In general.
If you're into Persona, you can look at the opening cinematic for any of 3 to 5 games, and Igor is there.
I didn't know he was even in the thing until I actually started it.
I think you're just stupid.
I think you're a bit silly.
Hyper, this is like not knowing who Kakashi is in Naruto. Who? Honestly, it's probably worse.
Who?
Okay, I'm moving on.
Just so I bring up that Yaldabaoth, his mentioned analysis did not give me final boss energy, like narratively. Like I assumed he was the final boss, but he also felt like a completely like the impression I got is the kind of final boss that just shows up and has really like no real bearing on the plot. He's just like, by the way, this guy was there the whole time, sort of boss. Is that accurate? Is that at least accurate? Is he just kind of a guy that shows up and then immediately dies?
He has build up throughout the entire game.
No, he does not. No, he does not.
He does. They're like Yaldabaoth. It's a TH.
Demiurge, dickhead.
Anyway, to recap, lots of versus stuff. Nothing much in the way of story beats. I don't know why they prioritize mentioning Akechi when they could have brought up any of the Phantom Thieves who are actually Phantom Thieves.
Is he not a Phantom
Maybe
Thief?
they could have explored his dynamic with Akechi if they're going to explore anyone,
Is
and
he
not Igor for some reason.
Not a Phantom Thief?
Maybe bring up the other Persona 5 games. There's like 5 of them at this point, and you only mentioned the main one, and didn't even bring up royal content till the post-analysis.
No. You are about to tell me that he does not start as a Phantom Thief, but becomes one by the end, because I refuse to believe.
He becomes one an hour into the game. Okay, it's not the end.
So he is.
The Phantom Thieves are thorned really early into the game, but Joker does not start out as one.
Awesome.
I know that you're terrified.
Fantastic.
The more I speak, the more that you have been lied to.
So, he is one of them.
So, Giorno's analysis is like, I mean, Joker's analysis is like a 7 out of 10, because the issues with it, I understand, are either time constraints, or them really needing to highlight how important it is to bring versus context to Persona as a franchise, because it is really complex to just dump all at once. Giorno's analysis does not have that excuse, because it is over a minute longer, does not name drop any of the mafioso, not even Bruno, which is like the most important relationship Giorno has in this entire part. They can name drop Diavolo, even though he and Giorno don't even have all that much of a connection, other than he's the bad guy that they've been chasing after this whole time. The real dynamics with Bucciarati and Diavolo, which again you would never know. Again, it's also a versus sheet, but because JoJo hardly has anything to contend with Persona, that really didn't need to be focused on all that much. You just needed to talk about Golden Experience's abilities and Golden Experience Requiem, which, don't get me wrong, they do, but it feels padded, and that time feels like it could have been spent talking about the story beats of Part 5, or at the very least his dynamic with Bucciarati. These analyses lack character moments. And I know it's easy to say, oh, it's because they're not really characters, they're blank slates, shut up. They still have character moments, just because they don't act like they have a super flamboyant personality that's all that vocal does not take away from the fact that they are characters with personalities at the end of the day. And they are not represented all that well. And as you've seen firsthand from Nemesis, they didn't tell you who Giorno was. And in that regard, I cannot see this as anything other than one of the worst analyses that they've done in Modern Death Battle since Asta. I do not want to sugarcoat it, because to do that would be like, I want my criticisms to be made clear, not in the sense that I think Death Battle is bad, but because it is good and I know it can do better. That is the best way I can word it. And I am really surprised that Giorno's analysis turned out like this. And then I have no complaints on the fight. It is doing the heavy lifting so hard, because they made an entire arena full of references because it's Giorno's palace. It's just to make it work. They could have just had pre-existing assets and called it a palace, but no, they went the extra mile for this environment. They pulled out some really fun personas in particular. Like Jack Frost was a given, but Alice is like a really, really popular one that you wouldn't expect to get all that much attention at the same time. So it was really cool.
They pulled out some really surprising personas. By that we mean the one he starts with, the one he ends with, and the two really popular ones.
Jack Frost is basically Pikachu. I'm not entirely sure what Alice is the equivalent of. And I feel like if I make any other equivalent, it's gonna sound like I don't want to. So
I like how Arsene is like barely a factor in the fight. Like, he just gets punched off screen, and then it's like, there we go, that's it. Yeah, they're fucking.
Which, at the very least, is accurate to Persona, because Arsene does not serve much of a purpose. He is the one that starts things out.
Fucking loser.
Which is funny.
Fucking Giorno first.
Technically,
First thing he
Isn't-
does is distract
can't
Joker so
remember,
he
but-
can kill the French. It's quite lovely of him.
Technically, I it's been a while, but like technically, our Satanal is still Arsene, just like an upgraded version, right?
I think that's how it's
No.
presented, but Satanayo is also just his own thing.
I refuse to believe that he is that.
All right. Or before you panic, this is basically something that the game does not really address all that much because you can have Arsene gone and forgotten in your party.
Wait, no.
And then he just shows up.
No,
in the
they
cutscene
do.
Anyway.
They do say that it is an upgraded Arsene, I think. So you should be telling me that that's exactly what he is, and there is no ambiguity there.
Well, then that's Persona's thing because they don't direct much attention to it beyond that one cutscene.
I'm gonna
which is honestly a really
personally
forgettable
feed
detail.
you your own feet.
That's like that happens like right at the end, and like I know there's a lot of things I remember in the ending. That's not the thing I remember, so like I think they're right there, so don't worry.
Okay, so anyway, the best part about this episode is I think it has my favorite dynamic fight-wise in any episode. The way that the powers bounce off of one another, the way that Joker's always on the back foot, that's a really fun interpretation because that's basically how a palace. Joker needs to find some underhanded way to get the upper hand, and by taking down the palace owner in their own field, they're just always going to start at an advantage. And Giorno really has that impression for most of the fight.
The underhanded way in which he comes out on top being, just fuck this guy. Yeah, I was being nice. I'll just bust out the big... If you're gonna be an asshole like this, I'll just bust out the big gun, okay? You wanna be a dickhead? They'll double dickhead this douchebag, then shoots him in the face.
Yeah.
That's how I want to interpret it. The social links don't
There's, like,
actually
two
matter.
things I wanna
Joker just thinks Requiem is stupid and looks dumb. He's like, okay, asshole.
That should be your. Is that gonna be your blooper?
Oh boy.
No, my blooper,
no,
which should be out now, is just like Joker waking up and then it's just zooming out and there's a bunch of guys with guns pointing at him. Like he's out of the metaverse. He's like, oh, maybe this was a bad idea.
No. And also another thing I like pointing out is I saw a lot of these memes, images like prior to the episode where it's like, "I need you, GR. This is base Jack Frost we're dealing with." That's literally what happened.
Yeah, that's literally it.
Hey,
Yeah.
fucking power dynamic is my favorite. I like the moment where Joker takes infinite damage but still gets back up because Luis, there was a black screen there. It was just supposed to be their voices. And Luis was just like, you know what? We can do better than that. And then he just did.
Yeah, that's not a clip
if you look
from
at the
game.
storyboards,
That's not a clip from the game, everyone.
no, everyone thought it was.
Yeah,
which
I
is
was
just
so
all the-
confused when they said it was. It's like, no.
I think that's just a compliment to how far Luis has come because he started on Cammy versus Sonya, mind you. The glow up is insane.
No, and also another thing I also really like is that Giorno mainly gets the 2D hand-drawn sections while Joker gets like the 3D models, 3D like animation and model moments.
Yeah, no, like the biggest plus to this, and something that I would say is going to be the biggest distinction between someone like Nemesis and someone like me. This is the most reference-ridden script out of any death battle. And that much I can definitely tell is Liam's doing. No, doesn't come close to this.
I refuse to believe that because I understand nothing in SpongeBob Aquaman. I understand some stuff in this.
I'm not talking about that aspect. I'm talking about the sheer quantity of references. And there are just way more in this than there are in SpongeBob Aquaman. And as you have discovered, because of that, there is a divide in how much you actually got from the episode as an outsider and how much that I got as an insider.
Basically, I can already imagine. Basically, the analysis isn't like as much big a deal for Nemesis. Well, it is for you, but I imagine you like the fight. Just like it's pretty good and
It's fun
you
enough.
Really
it has
enjoy
some
basically.
like really standout moments. I think more than even Jonathan's like lung thing, the bees going back into the gun to blow it up is the most JoJo thing they've done. Because it's such a
No,
it's such a
dude,
completely
that was
unimportant,
what.
useless part of the fight that does not matter right at the beginning. At best, that bee put some life energy into Joker, which is
I am
how he like accelerated.
No, I called that.
But
I am
I called that
baffled you
ever
call
since
that
the fight
because
preview.
I am baffled you call that because like when I saw that I was like, oh, I was just like, okay, and then I saw them like come back. I was like, oh, okay, that actually mattered. Okay.
No, it's so funny to me. I called it all the way back at Giorno's preview, mind you, before the fight preview even came out, because they added that detail, which does not matter to Giorno's journey all that much at all. I'm like, okay, so if you're bringing that up, there's a reason for it.
turns out the actual reason is because they didn't talk about anything that matters to his story. But also that other thing.
I mean, yes. But still, Chekhov's gun in a quite literal sense. I popped off
That's
so
Chekhov's
hard and I
bee,
felt so
actually, but-
validated. It's hit the fuck, please.
Why did I
And then
see
big-
so
and
much,
then-
so many posts about like of Giorno saying you'll never find the truth or whatever? Is that actually relevant to him at all, or is that just something they made up?
He says that to he says that to Diavolo.
So,
But
okay, so
He
just,
has
is
a.
it,
He
okay,
has
so
a,
it's just something he said one time. That's all right.
yeah.
but no,
And
like
That's the
But
big
yeah.
thing for me. Like, there are all these references. The biggest thing that pleases me, especially in a Sonic fan in these trying times where everyone wants to shit on references as a whole, none of these feel shoehorned. Everything here is organic. And to pull that off takes incredible talent. And I say this as someone trying to be a writer in a versus field. You can't just do a reference for the sake of it. There needs to be a proper place and time for it. Think of the Iron Man Batman exchange. That felt forced. That was really yucky. Think of the do or do not line in Yoda versus King Mickey. That worked because it was really organic. And that's how this entire episode feels. And I love it. I
Yeah.
really wish I way to describe it better.
yeah. No, and also yeah, no, I pretty much agree there. Because like it feels like a genuine crossover. Like lines like him saying it can't be a second stand. Like it actually like gives the impression that they're actually like this is unfamiliar to them and they're actually seeing this world for the first time.
Which, I'm going to keep using other comparisons to demonstrate the point. That's a really good thing. And then Ikora versus Storm. Oh, she's just an Avatar too. That's cool.
Well, that's still better than Zuko Todoroki, where Zuko sees him and is just like, eh. I could do that too,
Yeah,
probably.
no.
If I tried.
I really enjoy the episode, and the conclusion's fine. I feel like I'm fine saying
This
that
is
because
this is
no
one of my
one-
favorite conclusions.
you know,
I think that
I really
the
like
people
it.
trying to take down the Eyes of Heaven argument do not know what they're talking about and acting like, oh, it's non-canon. All right, so here's another thing I'm going to tell you, Nemesis. I already told you this, but now I get to tell people in front of an audience. Araki wrote Eyes of Heaven. He approves of Eyes of Heaven being supplementary material to back up the argument that fellow has made.
That is
And
featured
if you
in
don't
the
want to
episode,
use that,
yes.
and if you don't want to use that, we can source interviews where Araki has said, I just like making characters without an exploitable weakness. I think that is a boring writing device. So,
And if you want to ignore
the
that, literally
weaknesses that
right
Death
before the
Metal's
Eyes of
point-
Heaven bit is them explaining that this, whatever his name was, probably not important, has the exact same power and the big gun just kind of goes through it anyway. Yeah, that's the important bit, by the way.
Yep. Uh-huh.
yes. But if they want to take down the Eyes of Heaven argument, you would be going directly over Araki's interpretation. The same thing that people accuse that battle over and over again by going against the artist's intent to strengthen their argument. And the one time they do it in the most blatant way possible in favor of the artist's argument, you guys have a problem with it. Go fuck yourself.
As I also told you, I find analyses that begin with "this was close" and end with "so anyway, the loser had no advantages and couldn't do anything to win" to be extremely funny. So I don't mind. I love that.
No.
Like I said, aside from Mob Tatsumaki, anytime that happens, it's really funny. I get great amusement.
Yeah.
From it.
This
Well,
one
the
was
ver-
kind of like this one. They kind of really. Okay, well, first they said obviously basic gold experience, just no.
Like
Which
the way they go in, like
I don't know if-
Requiem versus Joker, is really hard to decide. So anyway, here is how Joker just effortlessly blows through it if he uses like his end game stuff, and Giorno can't do anything about that and would just die. It's really funny.
Yeah.
I love shit like that.
No, the funniest part. This is I said this in your DMs now, and I can't wait for this in the future. So, Joker was pretty strong. He was like universal 8 billion times FTL. Giorno was FTL and car.
Fucking car
Just
level.
car level. That number, I am curious on what that number is gonna be.
I don't know how to even get a result for that because like.
there's
what
like
do I do?
the funniest thing. If you want to look at all this going on right now, add to it the context that Joker is still one of the most underhyped characters that was ever done between where he actually is and what they did by their own. Big gap. If you want to put Joker accurately to where Death Battle put him, it's closer to. I'm not saying this is the exact same levels, obviously not, but he is closer to someone like Zatanna to where he was actually put.
Yeah.
So, have fun.
But like I also love the bit of just the has GR thing because it's just a massive in joke about like how people argue that if Giorno won, it would literally just be has GR while Joker has every other advantage. I won't lie, a part of me was like, it would have been interesting to see like someone who has all stats lose to someone because they have really good ability. But at the same time, that conclusion would be really freaking boring because it's just Joker has no way.
So there's this matchup called Okuyasu versus Kuwabara.
Dude, I'm just gonna be so real. I'm pretty sure Kuwabara wins because Okuyasu is too stupid to realize, oh yeah, I can just kill him at any time.
As I made the argument once, it is more in character for Okuyasu to run up and punch him in the chest, and for the kinetic energy of Kuwabara's beating heart to vaporize Okuyasu on impact. Because of the sheer stat gap.
That is actually true.
And like that is what he would do.
The only time Okuyasu has used his the only time Okuyasu has used his stand is when he was explicitly told not to.
I want to point out the best matchup should be Okuyasu versus Joey Wheeler, because they would not bother with any of the stuff that they actually have, they would just punch each other. That would be the whole
Also,
fight.
Kuwabara's best is wooden... And Kuwabara's best is Wooden Sword Ryu from Shaman King. I'm going to push that agenda while I'm here, while I have a platform.
Okay, but someone do Okuyasu versus Joey Wheeler, and it's just them beating the crap out of each other, while Red Eyes and the Hand just kind of sit at the back going, are we going to do anything? Or like, is this like, you guys just going to do this?
I know what I'm doing. I'm getting myself some...
What
I know
the
what I'm doing.
fuck
I'm
was
getting myself
that?
some fucking popcorn. Be right back.
What the hell was that? There was just a big ass bird that flew past my window. Fuck off!
The rapture has come. Typical Australia moment. The birds. So what was it? So when you say big bird, do you mean like rather abnormal kookaburra or a cassowary?
White bird.
That's probably a kookaburra then.
It flew past the window. It's definitely not a cassowary.
Maybe not one that you've ever seen.
I've seen all of them.
They're fucked up.
They are my friends.
And
I will send them to war.
I am the official cassowary. Okay, anyway. Joker vs. Giorno. Very good episode. Decent for people who are outsiders and really with the most exploitable flaws that you have seen in a script, I think. And I do not say this as an insult. I say this as an observation.
Alright.
I think it would have been really
Anyways,
funny if they didn't have the has GER advantage, though, because it didn't actually matter at all, and Giorno just had nothing but downsides. That would have been really funny. Extremely
That would
funny.
just be mean. I mean, as is, he had less advantages than Homelander.
Yeah.
Like,
and they
like
it mattered
technically
about
GR
as much
does
as...
negate.
You know, if you're putting Joker from the start of the game against GER, then yeah, he's gonna have a problem.
I guess GR still like negates like many of his like regular personas still, which is like I guess is still like technically an advantage, but like
But not the motherfucker who reflects physical.
yeah, didn't need him.
It is so funny that Death
So,
Battle just did not even attempt to talk about that argument.
Requiem punched.
I mean,
For one reason-
If it punched
there
the
were-
Dogu doll, would the damage then reflect and then Requiem activate and undo it by undoing its own attack? So when it goes to attack,
No.
all you actually see is it just sitting there doing nothing. And Giorno's like, Requiem, are you gonna do anything? And Requiem's like, I can't. I literally can't. I'm trying, bro. You can't see it. Shut up. You're not even Italian, dickhead.
The Joker just kind of walks around and then just shoots Giorno with a gun.
Yeah, just does what he does. He just shoots him with a gun.
not even like with Santanile, he just like pulls out the Walther P38. All right, gonna take a little bit off the top. Stay still, please.
Hey, so did you know that Megatron in the Japanese continuity can go through Requiem? It can do what now?
Oh yeah, no. Oh yeah, now that Joker is a thing, I wonder how like because like, I know sometimes people do this where it's like loser battle royales and winner battle royales. I wonder how that's gonna work for Giorno because like he's such a really interesting case.
Giorno's just going to win.
Well, I mean, I don't know about everyone because
Look,
like
I mean,
Not everyone.
one of the upcoming losers is about to be Bowser or Eggman, and like, there's a lot of stuff they've done. Would you be terribly surprised if someone found some random equipment they had from a game that nobody talks about that casually mentions something that doesn't matter to the main debate but would get through GER?
Bowser suddenly warping through space and time suddenly appears.
It just appears in the past,
I don't.
and Jordan's like, what the bloody hell's that thing? Battle over.
Ooh,
I don't.
get you landed on unlucky space, you little kid. I'm gonna take all your life force.
Bowser just like takes the stand arrow, just like throws it into space, then goes back to the original future. And Jordan's like, now Requiem, you're not Requiem anymore. What happened?
Well, if he got rid of the arrow, stands at all just would not exist.
No, I mean like at the start of the fight.
Okay.
Because
Anyway.
he wouldn't know to go back to the first time the arrow showed up in human history. Imagine
What
he
are you
does do
talking
that.
about? There's Mario.
Imagine he
No,
does
listen,
do that. He comes back and
Mario's
suddenly
time-
Giorno's like trying to use Hamon against him. That would be really funny. It was like, what?
No, you don't
What is
understand.
this?
You don't understand. And no, Bowser would know because Mario's time machine and Mario's missing. Bowser knows the major events of recorded human history. So
No, but this is not a major event.
if it was the
Hamon is
JoJo,
absolutely not a major event.
the stand arrow absolutely is.
A stand arrow should be, yeah. Though it's not like stands are like super well known by like the general populace, unless something changes in part 5 and 6. Which, you know what? I don't care.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Bowser Eggman's the next time.
Yay!
Should have been Bowser. Should have been Eggman versus
Eggman
Griffith.
should say, "Get a load of this,"
Yeah,
and then cause the eclipse.
Yeah, it should have been Griffith to be honest.
Yeah, I don't really see.
I don't see like the themes here. Like, I mean, like what? They're just like video game baddies or something. Nintendo, Sega rival. Nah, we got Griffith from Berserk.
I'll probably like edit an
Yeah.
image of Eggman like standing in the eclipse and be like, "What is Bowser gonna do when this happens?" and put that on Twitter. Just see if anyone
No,
picks it up.
It's specifically that one Eggman render, you know, with his arms out.
There's actually a lot of those, but I think I know what you mean.
He's doing a YouTuber pose.
Yeah. Anyways, Bowser Eggman's probably gonna be like one of the best episodes ever.
The expectations for it are certainly high, and
I am just hoping that
remember.
as a fellow animator, I am hoping for Moro's sake that there doesn't come a point where like during the 3-week like lead up, he's like, "Oh no, an extremely minor animation error no one's gonna pick up on. Ben, I have to fix this. Benjamin, I have to fix this." Because I know
is
that.
crazy for doing this, by the way. Like, hand-drawn army battle. Like, are you mad?
It's a hand-drawn army battle. What the fuck is happening? I make Friday Night Funkin' mods.
Oh, yeah. And the trailer, to no one's surprise, I'd hope, reveals Sage is going to be involved. Obviously.
Oh, what?
But, like, some people were like,
I
oh
can't
my
wait
god,
for-
Sage is going to be in it. It's like, if King Boo's going to be in it!
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the fight to happen, and then Bowser does the fucking curb stomp gif on stage.
I was joking in my, like, private server that no one's allowed in anymore, of, like, the most corny fucking possible timeline where Eggman kills Bowser Jr. in the fight, and Bowser's like, my baby boy! And, like, locks in and gets super aggro all of a sudden, and how hysterically horrible that would be as a scene.
No,
That
everyone.
No.
No, I've seen so many people unironically suggest it. Guys, Reddit and Newgrounds are down the hall and to the left. Shut up.
Just the idea that Bowser Jr. and Sage die, and that
Yo,
makes them go from goofy to serious.
It's just completely completely kills the tone. It's just like super dark with them just like.
What I don't think people
And
get...
then Eggman...
Oh no, go on.
No, it's like it just goes like super, freaking like super like edgy dark, and it's just like you killed my son, and then he goes after Sage, and then Eggman's like you killed my daughter, and then it's like, and it's just so messed up, and then like they claw each other and like shoot each other, and it's like really bloody.
What I don't
Shoot
think
each other.
people understand
This gives
is, from our point of view, Bowser and Eggman act silly. From their point of view, they're being fully serious, and that's what makes them so fucking fun. Is that they got the impression that they're being the most serious, badass villains of all time. But when we watch them, we see them be a bunch of complete nonsense idiots, just goobers.
All right, now listen. Here's a small tweak to make it in character and honestly really cool. Instead of killing Bowser Jr., hold him hostage. Because that is something that Eggman would do.
I think, if anything, it would be a lot cooler if Eggman goes to kill Bowser Jr. and Bowser, like, blocks the attack somehow, and, like, that transitions into, like, Fury Bowser. If anything, do something like that,
Right.
where he locks in because of the threat and not because it actually happens.
No, like, it would, like, Eggman would try. IDW Eggman would absolutely try. But also, I think it would just be more in character for him to hold Bowser Jr. hostage and be like, stand down, turtle, unless you want to lose your son.
It would be really funny.
Yes, sounds really...
Okay, hold on. It'd be really funny if Bowser then grabbed Sage and tried to do the same thing, and she just went intangible and flew out of his hand. He was like, oh.
Yeah.
Kidnapping is like my one thing. What the fuck's going on? Could you imagine if Bowser went to kidnap Sage and it just didn't work? He would have an identity crisis. Like, who am I, if not a kidnapper? Like, just a long, drawn-out 3-minute sequence where he's just walking on the beach, looking at the waves. You hear a little bit of Dearly Beloved playing in the background. He's just like, "Am I me?" But anyway, everyone's talking about a lot of things. How do you think it's going to be set up? Because I have a great idea in my head as to how this is all going to go down. Like season 1?
Yeah.
No, the setup is basically Bowser is sleeping on like a beach chair, enjoying the scenery. Eggman comes in, and because he like invited like some of his minions to vacation here, he goes, hey, you big fat turtle, that's mine. We were here. And then Bowser is like, nah, it's mine now, and then he just kicks him off, and then they just bring in their armies for the seat in the beach.
Well, clearly it has to be the other
I
way
don't know, that
around,
sounds-
where Bowser's in his wedding gown on the beach for no reason. He's like, hello, that's a mine. Finders keepers, pal! And then Bowser
No, I was
flips
just
him out of
imagining-
the chair and then
Fu-
strips off his wedding dress.
No, I'm sorry. You're talking about the wedding thing. This has implications where Eggman shows up. I got fucking catfished.
Yeah. You said you were looking for
Anyway.
Said you were after mustached men in red outfits with white gloves.
And anyway, how I think it's going to be set up, if that battle is cool, it's not going to open on Bowser and Eggman. It's going to open on Bowser Jr. and Sage. And then Bowser Jr. is going to be like, my dad can beat up your dad.
Well, obviously Bowser
then
Jr. saying that, and then Sage going, like, thinking for a bit and going, that is illogical, because my father, blah, 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 blah. And then just hard cuts to the army.
And then just like a man's just like, what else did he say, Sage? He also said you're a stinky, stinky poo-poo butt. Oh, it's in between the eyes now.
What do you mean he said stinky twice?
What else, Junior? And she hurt my feelings? I'm gonna fucking kill that bitch. See, that's the best way to set it up, dude.
The way it actually sets up is Bowser's on Twitter, and he sees Eggman make fun of him for losing to Ganon. And he's like, oh, okay, fine, you're gonna do it that way. And he's like, you got killed by your own fucking mech. And that's how they fight. It's the natural evolution of death battle watches.
Not only did you get killed by your own mech, it's the fucking fodder these days. It got taken out by Base Sonic, Base Knuckles. It's Super Frog got taken out by Base Shadow. You can't build worth a fuck. There is another setup that I have heard, and I don't know if I'm actively hoping it does happen or hoping it doesn't. Because, so here, this is a two-parter. Part 1, Bowser has a giant hot tub. Part 2, it is on the moon.
This water is hotter than I
Fill
remember. Hey!
This is gonna be fun.
It could literally just
It would have
be
been more
like
fun if it was Griffith.
they both want one resource that's like super powerful, and that's it. There's just a MacGuffin.
The power Chaos Star.
Yeah, the Chaos Star.
The Chaos Star. That sounds like a fucking JoJo part 10 Chaos Star.
Honestly, it sounds like a Shadow the Hedgehog move.
Chaos Star. Fucking the sun just pulls a Majora's Mask.
It puts on a mask? That's dumb.
Oh yeah, Joker never took off his mask. We never brought that up. That is very much a thing that Persona is supposed to do. He even does the movements, like the gestures to do it in the animation, and then he just doesn't. I think he forgot.
He went to do it. He missed. He missed the mask on the swipe and went, "Yep, I meant to do that."
He just does it for us in a fight because he doesn't want to look inconsistent.
It's like he fails
Like,
two
his
times.
hand is-
He fucks up twice, and he says, "Would you believe me if I said that I meant to do that twice?"
Like, listen, his hand is on his mask when he's about to go for Jack Frost. Like, his fingers are wrapped around it, and then he just takes them off.
He just slips. He forgets. He's like,
No, Arsene just looking like, hey, Joker, there's like a step to this here, forget it. No, I'm not.
Lovely.
Oh, well, if you would say, holy shit, is that Griffith? Okay. The next thing, which I think is music moment, Hybrid gets to talk now, because I think he just kinda...
music moment, mate.
Someone check in on Hyper. I think he died.
Hyper!
Maybe it's the way
Okay,
you're
talk about
dressed.
the music moment.
Okay. Alright. We got Duel to Strive, Darth Maul versus Gwyn Zhao.
This is going to be so weird, but the first part of it sounds like the intro to a Vsauce 3 video. That's all I have to
I
say.
honestly kind of like. I honestly kind of like dig this as like an idea in general, to be honest. And also, yeah, I like the track too. I like the vibe it has.
I didn't actually get to watch most of these.
It's got a. I don't want to say the terminology because I feel like I don't understand music enough, but I think it's like techno-ish.
So we can go to
hope
the next
I'm right
one.
there. Yeah. But
Next
yeah, really
one
cool track.
is Venomous
Next one
Hypothesis.
is Orochimaru versus wait. Oh, another Bleach character.
Who cares?
I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll probably butcher it.
I'm not listening to any of these recently. I've just not had time. So like, this is hard for me to say anything about.
I've listened to some of them, not all of them though. This one I have. It's neat. I think it's cool enough. I did not realize that there were 2 Bleach matchups back to back. That's really
As
funny to me.
the Kingdom Hearts fan, I'm sure Gumball is very excited to hear about Chains of Memories, and also very excited to learn that it has nothing to do with Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, Rem.
I have just kind of accepted it, and then I listened to comment on that track. Actually,
Of course
you have no power over me.
Yeah. Again, I have nothing to say. I think Gumball's dying, or being hit with a blizzard.
Oh my goodness gracious. Anyways, I really like this one actually. It's a ReZero track, so of course Gates literally likes to go all out for those.
I will say, I'm kind of hoping we hurry this up a little bit because it is getting really hot in the room right now because it's summer.
Oh,
here.
Okay.
I really like this one. I will say, but yeah.
Go ahead and speak
next
your
up-
minds. I just don't have much to say. Akuma no Ko, I like the instrumental well enough. I've not listened to the vocal, but I do like Igiko. I think she's good, so sure, it's good.
I have not heard this one.
I disagree. I think you have.
I have.
Not particular.
I really like this one.
Okay.
Okay, we have
I like
Devil
the vocals for it.
Uncaged.
It definitely helps add.
Oh, no, go back. You were talking.
Sorry. Sorry, yeah. I really like the vocals for this one. It really helps add to the instrumentation for it.
Cool.
I have no idea if this fits Tokiyaku well enough, but I know Nagisa well enough. It's like, yeah, I can see it fit.
Yay. Okay, next is Devil
Yeah.
Uncaged. Jin Kazuma versus Cassie Cage.
I have not seen this one yet. I have not heard this one yet.
I saw
Cassie-
Cassie's statement actively avoided it. I'm sorry.
I don't care. There is Blur of Rebellion, the Jonkler versus Archie Sonic. This is not Archie Sonic's
did
first
know
persona
this.
matchup, is it?
Yeah, this came out around Joker, which is really funny.
The funny thing is, I know that this isn't even the only Archie Sonic matchup to go up against a Persona protagonist. There's going to be another one coming up.
Yeah, I heard that
Yeah,
from
I'm
someone, probably
sure.
you.
I'm sure that series pairs with. I definitely know Archie Sonic well enough.
The
Then-
fun thing about this matchup is that it's actually really thematic. At least the most thematic that actually focuses on Archie Sonic specifically as a character.
So,
Huh.
well, yeah,
Because
there's a reason Olympians
Sonic
don't
and
set their
Joker
own
are, like-
hurdles and all. No matchup for Archie Sonic focuses on his character, so
well, this one actually does, because Joker
Crazy,
and
bro.
Sonic are like the embodiments of rebellism in the face of a society that wants nothing but for them to be gone.
I just realized this actually could be close. I just realized that.
Yeah.
that's a good point. Multi-plus, potential dimensional tiering arguments, a lot of abilities on both sides, including immunity to random bullshit, measurable speeds.
Huh.
Yeah, I can see that.
Cool.
We have a Spectre of a Hero,
No,
the
I'm-
vocal version. thinking about it, Saren
I have
versus
not
Iron
heard
was
this one.
actually kind of neat as a matchup, but Saren doesn't do a whole lot in Mass Effect. At least, like, on screen, he's not very prominent, but he's cool.
Mass Effect has a lot more attention in this community than I would expect as far as if the commission tracks are anything to go by.
Maybe because Brandon's very publicly like, this is, like, my favorite thing ever, actually. And I
thought that was ReZero.
Well, that's one of them as well. Mass Effect is one of them, though. And, like, having played it now, yeah, it's really fucking good. It's really fucking good.
Okay. And then is that it, or is
That's it for
I know
Brandon.
Fairwolf has a
We
couple.
can move to Fairwolf, who has the last laugh, the actual Jonkler versus the Groin Goblin.
And well, it's atmospheric. I'll give it that.
I actually just finished Arkham Asylum in Arkham City. Those were the funniest games ever to have revisited. Like, unironically.
Don't worry, he's just unconscious.
You want
Then-
some of this?
We have Burning Skyfire as Azula versus Cyclonus. Whoever the hell that is.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Wait a minute, hold on. There's no shot. Is that Cyclonus from Stormhawks? Hold on. Because my mind first defaulted to Transformers, which it's not because it's spelled
That is
differently.
Stormhawks.
Is it? It is! So whoever the hell that
You
is,
know-
a character I know. Huh? Okay, you know, you can show me a SpongeBob character, wouldn't recognize him. You show me fucking Cyclonus, I guess you...
No, I remember Stormhawks very vaguely. It's a show that I wanted to get more into at the time, but Cartoon Network just did not want to air it.
Wow.
Huh.
You... The fact that I actually got that the moment... You wanna know what it is? You wanna know what it is? That made me, like, that I remember? The fact that the hair is very often drawn purple. Her hair is very often drawn purple. That's my one-track mind for everyone.
Huh.
I don't.
Alright.
I recall it's also sometimes black. So I would have to rewatch the series to actually say for sure what it is. But like I remember it's often drawn purple or color purple. Anyway, then there's Villains Broadcast, Black Hat versus some guy. Versus
I listened to this one.
Gojo's rival
Yeah,
in fraudism.
Yep. I listened to this one and I really enjoyed it. I really like the cover art for it too as well, and I just love the general vibe of it as well. Definitely matches Alistair. Haven't seen Black Cat, but I feel like it also matches him as well. Just based off the few clips I've seen of him, I really like that one.
And then there's Dead
then
on
the last
Revival,
call.
me versus Magician.
Oh, I didn't even realize that came out today.
No,
I just
that
kinda
was
popped in.
UX. UX, my man.
Yeah, no, I
UX has
instantly,
succeeded.
instantly.
I
yeah,
gotta-
know, I knew it was him.
I gotta listen to this, but not now.
I actually have to listen to that now.
I saw the thumbnail for your Halloween ranking, and if the thumbnail's anything to go by, you this one. You have minutes to explain.
No, he liked it. This is
Wait, you watched
clickbait.
the fucking video? It's
Yeah,
you
I
wanna know
did.
why it's there? It's a joke because I drew those renders. It's a joke. It's a self-deprecating joke. You fucking pineapple.
Well, you should have. Well, all right. I appreciate the innovation, but secondly, you should appreciate yourself more. You little prick.
No, thank you.
But no, I like this one. Of course, I had to drop everything to hear it. It's UX, man. This is a guy who got stabbed, and then when I asked he was okay, he said it hurt more when I beat him in cross tag battle.
This man is on a mission to get this to be an episode, like with every fiber of his being.
He
I
made
kinda
he made himself merch of this matchup. He went to a t-shirt store and printed a fan-made album cover for this matchup just so he could.
Can you also name a star?
Yes, he bought a star and named it after the matchup.
He's
Yeah. So I'll have to listen to this, but that will actually do it for a music moment. It's not as long when none of us listen to all the tracks and only some of us listen to some of them.
Well,
Yep.
at least we went out on a really high note.
And then there's Paragraph Pasta, which I don't want to take too long to talk about personally because I have not gotten around to reading this one, but I really want to. Bang sent me this
Alright,
one in DMs, and I just haven't gotten around to reading it, but I really want to because y'all should know I fucking love Mazinger versus Getter.
From what I heard, this one's really good and really put together.
No, like, I do want to say, we're not going to read everything, but this period in particular has had the most blogs I've seen. I've seen people complain that there's just been so many lately that it's starting to become a bit of an oversaturation issue.
I'm not surprised,
but
given the state death battle was in for a while, that like people would channel their energy into blogs a lot more, and like, so now that like a lot of work's gone into them, they're not going to stop. They're going to finish them off and put them out.
Yeah,
I was going to continue my blog / Wait for Itachi versus Giorno, but then I actually got a job, so
Loser.
I need to focus on the job.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually employed. I am a death metal fan who was employed.
Fucking
Show
loser.
me another
Go read
man
a
who was
Captain
like that,
America
and
comic
also...
instead. Douchebag.
Yeah. I got from the general vibe of it.
I don't know who's going to win, but I feel like it's going to come down to Mazinger Infinite versus Getter Emperor, and that sounds really cool. I'm very curious to see if Getter can get past Mazinger's actually I decide I win button. I really, really want to get to reading this. In fact, right after I'm done recording this, when I'm just setting my computer to, because I'm currently rendering the full review, so I can't render this out immediately. Once I'm out of the room, I'm probably going to just pop this up on my phone and read through the whole thing. There's a very high chance I do that. So
no, this one is really in depth, and I can definitely sense like a lot of care for these characters. Like I've seen a lot of push for this matchup, like on Malabanters, and there seems to be like a lot of like hype and care for these type of characters.
Well,
And
it's because these two are like
respect
the big first like mecha in manga.
Yeah,
like, they're the big ones. And
yeah,
they
I've
have
heard of
very
that.
long histories.
Yeah, I've heard of that, and I respect it.
Yeah. That said, Black Getter versus Big Convoy from Transformers. That's a real matchup. Any other Big Convoy fans in chat? No? Well, I spent $100 to get the Korean release of the figure. Because it's the only one under 300.
Wow.
And he's on my desk right now, and I love him.
Oh yeah,
That'll do.
Pasta official ordeal.
We finally
First.
break the streak with official ordeal. There's nothing to talk about.
Yep. Unless
Smooth.
something like this is a tweet that just drops like right now in the middle of this, which
we'll
would be
ignore.
Funny, but
Right now, we can move on
Yeah, well-
to munching matchups.
All right, 'tis the season. The season of seasons. We're going to be very serious with this one because the matchup is the Grinch from Dr. Seuss versus Griffith.
That's right. We have
Jack
Jack the
Skellington.
Ripper versus Joel Haver's original character, the Grinch.
Okay.
Okay, so what ground rules do you guys want to lay out? Because I know there's like many different incarnations of the Grinch. Are we just going to composite?
I'm actually gonna spoil the ending right now. So this is how the fight would actually. This is how the fight would actually
He's
play
just gonna
out.
fucking use the sound
100%.
Maybe it's the way you're dressed after like a 5-second.
No.
silence.
No, I actually wrote this down. Somehow, some way, the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day, and it only continued to grow as Jack inflated his heart, ever growing and ever expanding, coming from within the dark, until it burst open and it rained down red in Whoville on this night. For Jack made sure everyone remember who is the king of fright.
Newgrounds is down the hall and to the left.
Says the Grinch at the end of his luck, his famous last words. Fuck.
That has the same energy as that time someone animated a Yoshi scene where fucking Boo Boo killed him.
I have to imagine because the Grinch doesn't throw many hands. To be honest, neither does Jack. But like I just get the vibe Jack wins. I may be wrong.
Okay, so I've actually you've been wrong about a lot of things today, Nemesis. It's actually kind of weird.
Yeah, I've
But
been taking
let
up for you a
me.
bit too much.
Yeah. Anyways, Jack's a skeleton, so he's better. Sorry, bam, done. The end. He can't hurt him because he's already a skeleton.
All right, I want to delve into this actually.
Jack
though.
just starts rapping
Um,
at the Grinch.
and then the Grinch just shoots him. It's fucking Joker versus Giorno again. Maybe you didn't hear me. Get Grinch. Fucking giant gun.
Instead of Satan Nile, he summons
Anyway.
Santa Claus. Santa Nile.
No, he just summons another Grinch. Anyway, so I'm just gonna focus on the classic era of
fucking
the Grinch predominantly.
Stop being a Sonic fan, you
Because-
fucking you.
No. I just think that has the most interesting stuff to talk about. Although feat-wise, I know that the PS1 game of the Jim Carrey adaptation of the Grinch has like a building level feat, which is higher than anything Jack has that most people want to say. So here's what I can remember off the top of my head. So focusing on the Grinch, he has a 12 times strafe multiplier because he has the strafe of 12 men when his heart grows 3 sizes. If you want to take that at face value, cool.
I don't.
Oh,
That would just mean
Well-
that in base he's got 4 times the strength of a man.
yes. That was just terrifying to think about. The Grinch fucking folding Mike Tyson. Could you imagine that mental image?
Yes.
Because bro is built like a Redditor. If this guy took this time to work out, I do not think Yujiro Hama could hurt him.
Okay, but what if we just use Kingdom Hearts?
Well, then, I can't believe I'm gonna be the one saying this, but you would be doing something lame.
That is not quite how I'd put it, but that is the correct answer. I would have said you're fucking stupid, but like, you know, that what you said's also correct.
Like, do you realize how much strength it takes for me to say that?
That's why I wanted to see if you would.
So, anyway,
I'm proud of you.
well, yes, it is a trial that I must overcome. So, the Grinch is a creature of magic, as in the sense that he has magical capabilities, like being able to adjust his size, and it just has a giant caravan wagon full of hell, basically. Because once you're trapped in there, you are full of the scariest things that the Grinch can possibly keep around, be it creatures designed to terrify you to death, acid trips, I want to say. He has an entire holiday at Whoville called Grinch Night, where when the conditions are just right, he's going to just bring this caravan full of hell to Whoville to terrorize them. And the whole thing is about one kid going there to try and brave it out to save his town for this Grinch Night in particular.
I want you to know
So
that on Versus Battle Wiki, the Grinch you brought up is said to be below human level.
Yeah, so you're wrong.
The entire story
as we all
takes
know,
place
Versus
within a
Battle
single
Wiki
snowflake.
is
Get Snowflake, loser.
alright. So now we know that they're just not true.
Anyway, so in the
because
video
there's
game
other
one
material.
the video game one has a profile that puts him at building level anyway, so it actually doesn't matter. At massively hypersonic speed.
Well, that what they're saying right now doesn't matter anyway. I can't believe that you of all people are going to look at Versus Battle Wiki at face value and
I'm
be
not.
like, I can debunk this man.
Wait, there's a composite Grinch page, or is that like a user blog? Okay, this is a user one. Wow, that one just says
Okay, anyway.
he's wall level. Okay, so not really a composite, is it?
So
Anyways, I'm looking at his spell page. He is multiversal level. He also has
God, he's
he
talking
also
about-
has absorption,
He's
death.
fucking talking
death
about Jack
manipulation.
Skellington's Kingdom Hearts page.
Data manipulation. No, no.
I
He's
bet
he's
you
comparable to
that's what it says. I bet he has a page, and I bet that's what it says.
No, no. It says he's comparable to KHI Sora, not actual Sora. So
Oh,
that's
okay, that
different
makes
people.
sense. So he's not actually Kingdom Hearts. It's just like fakes. It's like
Yeah.
a bootleg.
He also has
It's AI generated.
he also has existence erasure, ice manipulation, gravity.
I would like to continue.
When have we ever cared what you'd like to do?
What's Grinch gonna do, buddy?
Alter the very concept of sound and sight. So
Okay, alter the very
and
concept of multiversal, dickhead.
Yeah, come on.
That
your
sounds
Grinch now?
like an argument for Joker Giorno as to why Joker wins. Oh yeah, reverse multiversal plus, loser.
All right, I don't have anything for the multiversal thing, but I do have these DVD special bonus feature about the Grinch that opens up with a guy saying, "I'm a real."
Cuts off. I have to imagine that Gumball's mic is on our side the whole time because it always cuts off at the best times.
Oh my god.
It's literally,
I
it's
mean,
literally just,
yeah.
I have the most important thing to say. Once upon a time, someone said,
I think that's a message saying that
I
there
think
is
there's a
no hope for the
conspiracy going
Grinch.
on.
No, anyway, please. All right, the cutoff is that cutoff is legendary, but what the guy actually said is fucking hilarious.
Okay.
So it's a thing about the Grinch. It opens up, and the guy just opens up saying, "I'm a real Grinchophile."
Alright, goodbye everyone, that's the end of the video.
Yeah.
We all agree that the Grinch probably should
Alright.
win, but it's funnier if Jack wins, so who cares, and Gumball's wrong.
I would actually like to discuss this though. No.
Make it quick, and I'll give you perms.
Okay. The Grinch has machines that can manipulate the concept of sound and sight. He can alter his size, has the magical beings, would not be even phased by anything Jack could do in terms of fright. He has feats that put him above building hypersonic, as you have said, because like at least that's legitimate because it comes from the PS1 game.
Oh yeah, it says on the page that it like keeps up with Santa's sleigh.
Yeah, and to justify anything from the Chuck Jones era, the Grinch is the Cat in the Hat, the same thing where those machines come from. He is the same size as the Cat in the Hat. So unless you want me to believe that basically the entire world of Dr. Seuss is about as big as a snowflake.
Oh no,
which
that,
is
I should know,
controversial.
it's actually just the Carey version that it says is like takes place within a snowflake.
Yeah.
The main Grinch page literally says he's human level because he scales to the Cat in the Hat.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure if you want to
yes,
go down
he is
that
just
path,
human level.
the cat-
Okay, Gumball.
No, shut up. Human level in size. Okay. Now listen, if you want to take Cat in the Hat scaling that deep, he is probably a demigod, but no one has versus searched Dr. Seuss all that well for good reason. That man left his wife when she died for her mistress, so he wasn't particularly great. So let's talk about Jack now. He has a Devil May Cry game.
Is it what?
Is that what his game is?
He has a game.
It's a DMC ripoff?
The PS2.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
So no, he is way more suited for combat.
I got 3 PS2s.
Even
I might
the
pick it up if I
Metroidvania-
can find it.
Even the Metroidvania Game Boy Advance game, which acts as a canonical prequel to Nightmare Before Christmas, he has a frog gun that fires bad frog smell, actual batarangs that are real bats, giant pumpkins, and he can light himself on fire.
Giant pumpkins? He can kill himself? Oh, this is based!
Oh yeah, the Nemesis Bloodlight reference. Of course, now you're absolutely and now.
Oh, now I know Jack has to win.
You could also include all the toys that he had for
Okay,
his
let's not go
Christmas
crazy, mate.
out.
Let's not go crazy. They're not going to start
The
looking
toys-
at toys, because otherwise we're going to see Godzilla versus Hulk, and Godzilla's going to like turn into an egg and grow artillery out of himself. So when
No,
toy
as in
scaling
like,
is not
as
gonna
in
happen.
like no, as in the fucking toys in Jack's sleigh in the movie.
Oh,
Before you
okay.
cut me off, you fucking dingus dick.
I said, oh, okay. That's the best. That's the best you're gonna get from me. Take it.
Which are toys that actively want to frighten, and some just want to outright harm you,
Goated.
so they can be weaponized.
Speaking of toys that want to harm
But
you, I've got a
Jack's
Lego
whole thing-
Homelander on my desk right now. I'm gonna
He's
shut him up by
probably
putting
thinking
him.
racial
I'm
slurs.
gonna shut him up by putting him right next to Lego Madara. Let's see how he likes that.
Can you send me a picture of that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So Jack's main thing is that he likes to be frightening. That's gonna fall on deaf ears against someone who can. Alright, so another big thing. I brought up
Okay.
Jack's toys in the sleigh. Grinch machine to alter the concept of sound and the concept of vision. If he uses those in tandem, the entire world distorts. He can make inanimate objects sentient and move to his will. And the closer he gets to weaponizing this is to just fucking mess with the cat in the hat. And he turned him into sound. At least visually speaking, I think that's what happened. So,
Well, that kind of makes the debate a little less interesting, don't it? You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You haxy fucking dick. You turned him into sound.
I thought you're-
And now this is just shit, Mr. Grinch.
why do you have to ruin every hobby that anyone participates in?
You're in verses, Mr. Grinch. You should fucking kill yourself. YouTube monetization
thing is
moderation
for me-
team. This is a joke about a character doing it. It is not an endorsement to anyone to do it. You should not do that. If you feel like you need to, you should seek help, please, because you matter to someone. And even if it's just yourself, that's all you need. There is a place for you in the world.
Your video's demonetized, Mr. Grinch.
Okay, unless you're a fascist, then you can fuck off. Alright.
The likes are disabled.
Oh no.
The comment section's wiped every 2 or 3 hours.
Alright.
And
So I think that's about the end of the debate then. There's really not much to say. Jack Scott is probably a better fighter. He's taller.
Grinch can become taller. Alright, so like, just
Okay,
go
well,
over
Jack
categories
fights
like
a
Death
giant
Battle
Oogie
does.
Boogie, so I think that the Grinch getting bigger than him is not really going to matter that much.
That is correct. But basically, let's just go over the 5 categories because it's kind of quick. The Grinch is stronger through the building feat, faster because of the Santa feat. Although, actually, I'm pretty sure Jack has lightning timing, so he might be faster. Yeah, no, he has lightning timing in the Metroidvania game. Lightning
Well, I
is
guess
obstacles.
someone can go look at that.
Would have been cool if the versus battle page had that. Oh wait, it does. It's called Kingdom Hearts.
That does not put him at massively hypersonic.
Alright, in terms of arsenal, Jack is just way more hard-coded for versus-oriented stuff. He has stuff made to hurt people, but Grinch's equipment just kind of messes with very concepts of sight and sound. And used in tandem, it can do a lot of crazy shit. And I don't think Jack has a way to really handle that. In terms of skill sets, Grinch's heart growing 3 sizes would definitely make him exponentially stronger because that building feat was prior to that big revelation.
That is a strength
So
thing,
if you
not
wanna-
a skill thing.
Yes, but he has the skill to grow his heart
I think skill should go to Jack just because he actually is like a proper fighter. That would I would put more in abilities.
Yes.
Like general like physical abilities they have that aren't tied to their arsenals.
All right, so like on one hand, yes, Jack has like more skills that are meant to fight, but also his main skill set, which is frightening people, goes completely wasted.
Why?
That doesn't really matter.
Because because the Grinch does not care about fright. He has the giant caravan full of scariest shit anyone has ever seen. Jack is offering nothing that would even disturb the Grinch.
I would still give Jack the point in skill. He is definitely a better fighter.
Yes. And in terms of experience, I'm gonna say this is a toss-up because the Grinch has dedicated his entire life to being a shithead.
Well, it's combat experience, mate.
Well, combat experience again. And like, yes, Jack's been on the adventures, but Grinch has just been way more confrontational his entire life.
Mm-hmm. So basically,
Jack is more so about the festivities.
Jack's a better fighter, but he's just gonna die.
Most likely, because the Grinch is just more powerful, and the stuff that he has to his disposal way nuttier.
And that would be
You
the
could
video,
argue that
yeah?
if Jack just
Merry Christmas,
that would
everyone.
probably be the video. It's Merry Christmas.
Say goodbye.
Except to Griffith, he knows what he did.
Yeah, happy Halloween to that dickhead.
Yeah. Anyways, happy Christmas every day, because Christmas is all everywhere and Christmas is live. I saw
Goodbye,
Christmas
everyone.
decorations in goddamn September.